Hey there, Leo. Welcome to reading for 2023. We're going to look at your first house in this first row here, Leo. And you have this Neptune card. It says visions on it. You have this hangman. We literally have Neptune and Pisces right now. So Neptune and Pisces right here. I feel for a lot of you that, your first house, we're going to be mostly looking at your approach to this year in this first row, but first house can also be like new beginnings, starting new things. It's a house of yourself as well. So, it can represent all those things, but I kind of feel that some of you are very focused on a dream. Look, and you have the star right here. So, you're very focused on like a dream or, I kind of feel the difference for you here, Leo, is that you've been working on something for a very long time. I feel like you've been working towards something consistent, which in a lot of ways is a good thing, but, has it been as successful as you want it to be? I mean, well, in certain ways, yes. In other ways, I would say no. I don't think it's been everything that you want it to be, whatever your dream is. For some of you, it could be to like have a family and, or build a family and like all this other stuff. For others, it could be, to work on a business that you've been working on for a very long time. I think you are having a lot of visions though. Like I would trust this energy here, like your visions, your dreams, and, all that other stuff. I feel like there have been a lot of delays, and I feel you're hoping to kind of break past these delays. I feel like you're hoping to break past the things that maybe you feel like you have been holding you back, and I feel your dreams could be very helpful in doing that. You have the Hangman, the Eight of Pentacles, and the King of Swords. I feel like your like outward appearance this year is Eight of Pentacles. So for all of 2023, I feel like you're working very hard. I feel like you're very focused as well on work. The good news is that you have the Eight of Pentacles. I love the Eight of Pentacles for any type of work that you could possibly be doing. It doesn't matter if it's financial or you could be working on like your health or whatever. And Eight of Pentacles to me is like material success on the horizon. To me, it says you will be getting benefits for the work that you're doing. So I do feel there is a lot of success with this Eight of Pentacles energy. You also have the Hangman here. It's like you know enough to set yourself free. I mean, this right here, Leo, is, to the Eight of Swords, to the Three of Swords. That's kind of like banging your head against the wall type of energy right there. It's like you know what to do. You even have the King of Swords. King of Swords has like the most knowledge and wisdom out of all the kings. So in a lot of ways, I feel like you know what to do to move your whole entire life forward. But even if we go this way, to Eight of Swords to the Hierophant, that to me could represent like analysis paralysis in a certain way. Really, like the Seven of Pentacles or Seven of Cups, like if I get those two cards together, to me, that's analysis paralysis. To me, that's like looking at something too long. But with the Eight of Swords, with the King of Swords, it's like, oh, I have to learn more. I have to know more before I can, take action on something. I feel it would be better for you to like maybe have one of those years where you break things down into bite-sized pieces and you take action. Like if you come up with an idea for your business, I would like break off a piece of whatever the idea is, do it, learn as you go, because I think if you do that, you're going to have a lot of progress coming in for you. You end with this going forward card, but I think you need to go forward. I think you need to kind of like put the work in to make things happen. With the Hangman, you have this decisions card. See, I feel like decisions could be one of those things that kind of maybe gets you held up this year. So, like I said, with the Eight of Swords, I think that it would be better for you to, almost, I don't want to say it would be better for you to not think, because I don't think that's true, but I feel it would be better for you to kind of, like I said, break pieces off of the things that you want to do and then just do them. There really is no, I don't think there is a good, answer, solution, tactic, or trick to get you to do the things that you need to do. I would just kind of do them with this decision card. I wouldn't, don't allow decisions to get you, kind of held up is what I feel here. With the Eight of Pentacles, you have this devotion card. I would actually be careful of this energy. You have the Eight of Pentacles with the Eight of Swords right next to it. Sometimes I think we get attached to an idea that we think is going to work. And I mean, trust me, I've done this like my whole entire life. I get attached to ideas and I work them to death, right? And I feel this is saying that with the Eight of Pentacles and the Eight of Swords there, it would be better for you to kind of practice letting go of ideas that just aren't working and moving on to things that do work. I think what you're going to find without even, going even any further into this reading is that the things that work are going to work. in your life. And I feel there are some things that are like maybe conventional that are going to work for you, like in business or even your love life as well. That maybe there are some things that have worked since we were cavemen, right? And those are the things that might still work for you today. I think that there are some other things that are maybe unconventional that are going to work. I think you need to look like, where am I stuck? Maybe you're stuck creatively, right? And so you need to become more creative. But maybe you're too creative. Maybe you come up with these like wacky ideas that are too crazy that people can't grab onto. And so maybe you need to go the other direction. And I would never suggest don't not being creative. I'm just giving you some examples here. And I think you need to kind of like find that balance of what works, especially for those of you in business. With the the King of Swords, you have this status card. It's pretty crazy to me that everyone has had this card. Everyone has had this status card. It is literally a card of gaining status. And so, I don't know. Sometimes I think that like Uranus and Taurus could maybe have to do with like our values and, material goods and things like that. So maybe a lot of us are kind of focused on gaining status. But it's not status and like as far as materialism is concerned. I feel this is more status as in quality. Like you're looking to gain status, but in a quality way. Like you want to be seen as a quality person. If you're entering into a love relationship, I feel like not only are you looking for a person of quality, but I feel like you want the two of you to be quality together, So it's like a little bit different than just materialism. I hope that makes sense. Next, in your second house, you have this parenthood card. It says healing your inner child will help you make money. Some of you could literally be becoming a parent. It's kind of funny because I don't remember like what book it was or whatever, but I remember reading a book years ago, and I can't remember which one it is. I'm sorry, but they were talking about how a lot of like people who become very successful, it's like they become successful after children because it's like all of a sudden you have to take care of something, so it kind of like motivates them. And I don't remember what that book was for the life of me, but if you're having a child like for the first time, it could be one of those things that motivates you towards success. I do feel that there are some things that you do have to heal like in your inner child, but this I feel has to do more with like playfulness. I always use the example, I'm a Black Moon Lilith and Leo, and the thing with Black Moon Lilith and Leo is like we need to learn how to be actors, and that's like Chris's crappy astrology. It's not like totally accurate astrology, but like we need to learn how to be more playful. Like as a kid, I had zero imagination. I was like super realistic, super logical. I stopped believing in Santa when I was like 3 years old. And so like, we need to learn how to be playful. And I kind of get that energy for you. That's why I'm saying this, Leo. Where it's like learning how to kind of like play the game in life. And, with the second house here, we're looking at like earned income, material goods, your finances. We're looking at just how you can make more money in this position as well. So I feel like adding maybe more personality, especially for those of you that have a business, maybe you need to add more of your own personality to your business. It could literally be like the design of the business, or maybe you just need to add yourself to the business in general. And even in career, maybe you're doing something that's too serious, and maybe you need to look for something that's like a little bit more playful, a little bit more creative. Like I said, I feel it's going to be different for all of you. You have the Five of Cups, the Eight of Swords, and the Star card here. There's a major focus on some sort of dream that you have or something that you've been building, especially again, for those of you in business, I feel like you've been working towards something for a very long time. And it feels, you have the Eight of Swords here, so it just doesn't feel like, is it bad? I would say for some of you, no. For some of you, yes, you're all different. But for some of you, I feel there's just like more, I feel with that Eight of Swords that like things could be fine, they could be okay. But there's like more here. There's more potential, more growth opportunity, more opportunity to reach more people. Like all these things are popping into my head, especially for those of you in business. It could also be a side hustle as well. It's like some of you could be thinking about taking a side hustle full time. And I definitely get this feeling of like more, it's like, but it's almost like it needs more fire, or you need to put more coal on the fire or something. I don't know. Maybe it needs more wood, right? Whatever it is, I feel like it needs more. But I feel like you're also like very close to creating a lot of success. I feel like you need to stay focused for sure, especially with that Eight of Pentacles. I wouldn't be too fixed on how you get somewhere. I would be open to spontaneous opportunity. I also think with the Star card, it might be a good time to like zoom out, to look at the big picture, to look at everything that's going on in your financial life, even if you don't have a business, just for all of you, and just to kind of like just see what's going on. You have this Eight of Swords here. You always get the Eight of Swords. I always joke about it. Eight of Swords is like being too close to a problem. So again, some of you, I feel like if you have a business or career, that getting outside help, getting a second pair of eyes on whatever it is that you do in your life, that could be extremely helpful. It could just give you some ideas that you just have never thought of before. So I think it would be a good year for you, like especially if you have business, maybe you have like hire a consultant, or maybe you just read someone's book. I mean, it doesn't have to be as an expensive as a consultant. I would just be looking for alternative viewpoints is kind of what's popping into my head here. It's like maybe you are not very organized. Maybe there's a book out there about getting organized in your business. Like, I think there's something about like differences popping into my head. And this goes for all of you financially. Again, maybe there's something where you have a different viewpoint. I don't know. I get this viewpoint thing popping into my head. Might be worth looking into here, Leo. I feel like it could greatly increase your finances, make you more money. You also have the Five of Cups again. Disappointments. Number one, I feel like you need to be grateful for like where you're at. But I always say with the Five of Cups, he needs to turn around, see these two cups, because then he'll see this bridge and this castle over here. So he needs to be grateful for what he has. It also can represent the fact that, he's lost his taste for wine. And I really get that feeling here for you about needing to not be too married to an idea, especially like financial ideas, because I think that'll just keep you stuck. I feel like if you stay open to different opportunities, different ways of making money, that you're just going to make more money. It's just going to be a lot easier. So that's what I would do here. Let's see. With the Five of Cups, you have the manipulation card here. I would be careful of any manipulative energy. I keep telling people I'd be careful of investments this year. I'm not saying it's going to be necessarily a bad year, but definitely a lot of manipulation. We've already seen it come out in the news. And that's like the tip of the iceberg, Leo. Mark my words. So, we have Neptune and Pisces, and again, Chris's crappy astrology again. I've been saying this since like 2017 at least, probably sooner, where I've been saying that, Neptune and Pisces, like Pisces, I think people don't realize Pisces rules anything that like flows. So does Neptune. It's like, I see it as money as something that flows. And so I've been saying this since like 2016, 2017, that I think there's going to be some major changes by the time we get to the end of Neptune and Pisces involving our finances, money, all that other stuff. And it's basically played out. So, there you go. I would be careful of that. The other thing about this, though, is that this is meant to be a good card of like law of attraction, manipulating the energy. So if you practice law of attraction or anything like that, definitely could be a very good card for you. With the Eight of Swords, you have, you cannot make this stuff up. Look at this. What does that say? It says convention on it, Leo. And you have the Eight of Swords. See, really, I think conventional, it's like the more conventional things, that's maybe where you are the most stuck, is the way things have always been done. I always say this to you every single reading, and people are always like, you repeat yourself. I'm like, I don't repeat myself. The cards repeat themselves in your readings is what is happening here. So I would be like looking for new ideas. I would be kind of tapping into source as well for new ideas. We have Pluto entering into Aquarius. I talk about this a lot. And you have the star card here, Aquarius. I would be looking at unique ideas and those intuitive ideas. You have that going this direction. You have the Hierophant right here. The Hierophant is like the bridge between the heavens and the earth. He is, he kind of works with both sides. And so maybe some of you need to work with both sides, kind of like, more intuitive stuff, but also earth, taking those ideas and bringing them down to earth, right? With the Star card, you have this criticism card. This could be what you're fearing. Again, I've been saying for years as well that with all this Aquarius energy, I think the one risk that everyone can take is the risk of exposure, the risk of being exposed. That might be the biggest fear that everyone has. And the Star is about putting things out into the world. So I feel for some of you, this is saying you have to take the risk of being criticized or, being wrong, right? That's like, there's no other way to put it. It could be the fear of being wrong about something, the fear of making a wrong decision. So I feel like you have to like take some risk. Next, in the area of your third house for communication, but we're also going to be looking at your thoughts, the things that are on your mind. Third house can also be like learning, travel, all that other stuff. You have this All That Glitters card. This card basically says all that glitters is not gold. You can see that there are two masks on this. But I don't really feel bad about this. I don't think it's a bad thing for you, Leo. I do feel like it's saying explore things that you're interested in. If something captures your attention, if there's like a shiny object, a new idea that you become interested in, I feel like this is saying like find out for yourself. Don't just take people's word for anything that you're dealing with this year. And, I feel like it's saying that you really need to learn the ins and outs of things that kind of capture your attention, especially with the Hierophant. I've been talking about this since 2016 as well. I really feel for the rest of our lives until you're dead, basically, that we need to, and, we have to move a lot of dirt to get to the gold right now. I think there's crazy opportunity where we can become like more successful than our wildest dreams, but it's not going to be easy. And I think we have to move a lot of dirt, meaning we have to explore a lot of ideas, and we have to explore them on a very deep level. We can't just go surface level. And this card, the negative side of this card is surface level, just seeing an opportunity and thinking, oh, this business is going to make me $1 billion overnight. Oh, this person is my person, without actually exploring it on a deep level. And that's what this row is talking about. You have the Hierophant, the Devil, and the Three of Swords. This, to me, the Three of Swords and the Devil, well, I should say the Devil, these people, you can see these people on this card, they have animal horns on their head. And it kind of represents our baser instincts. Like the Devil can represent kind of like root chakra energy. And sometimes, to me, it says we need to take that energy, bring it up to our head, and put it out into the real world. It can kind of represent, needing to take that wild side, like our ideas, and needing to express them in the world in some way. So I definitely feel that for some of you, where you need to like express some of your ideas. They need to come out, right? That's where the success is going to come from. I would definitely be careful of like toxic vibes here. Again, you have the manipulation card. I don't think this is true for all of you, but for some of you, you have the manipulation card, that Devil, going down to the Page of Swords with the Ten of Swords over here. And the Three of Swords as well. I don't really like this. So some of you, if you have a past person, that could be poking their head back up, I would definitely be careful of that energy with the Three of Swords. The other thing is, I would definitely, in your third house with the Three of Swords, I would definitely work on your mindset. I mean, Three of Swords, those swords are in your own heart. This is a card of forgiveness. And it's not about forgiving like another person. It's more about like forgiving yourself, or forgiving a situation so that you can set yourself free. So I definitely feel some of you need to do that. You also have the Hierophant here, literally in the third house of learning. I would be learning as much as you possibly can about like any situation in your life that you are interested in, because there's probably going to be a lot of gold in those situations. What I would also say is I would be very careful of any situations that are in your life here, Three of Swords, Devil, that could potentially drag you away from what's truly important in your life. It's definitely popping into my head as like kind of a warning. Like sometimes I think we get into relationships and they take over our life. Sometimes we get jobs or start businesses that take over our life. And I feel this is encouraging balance. With the Hierophant, you have this idealism card. This is the Sun in Aquarius, I think, this card. So, I would just be careful of thinking that things have to be perfect. I feel it would be better for you to take action on things that you want in your life and like get things moving forward. I feel that's really where the success is going to come from. With the Devil, you have this restlessness card. I feel like you need to channel your restless energy for sure. This card is Mercury in Aries. So, I would channel your restless energy into like a project, into creative projects, businesses, hobbies, things like that. With the Three of Swords, you have this eccentricity card. It's actually a pretty good card. It can kind of, again, it's more Aquarius energy, and it can kind of represent some of your more eccentric ideas, which is basically what we were talking about. I think you have a lot of these ideas like for your life, but maybe they're just out there and you just don't trust them. Again, you have that, the Hangman to the Eight of Swords to the Three of Swords, and it's kind of like something is keeping you stuck here. It's like not a bad reading, but it's not a good reading either, this reading, Leo. And again, I'm doing 3 parts to these yearly readings. And, you could just be stuck with like some first, kind of like the first quarter of your chart. That part of your chart could be more what you're working with this year, is kind of what I feel here. And that first quarter of your chart is like yourself, like those first 4 houses, like how you present yourself to the world and all that other stuff. So you really might be on a very deep level working on yourself. In your 4th house for your home, family, also your foundations, you have this going forward card. I really do feel you're kind of like pushing forward, which is great. I think you're moving away from the heavier energy And your first card really tells a story because you have the Nine of Wands. Nine of Wands is my card of experimentation, throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks. I wouldn't be too chaotic about it. Like, I would be a little bit more methodical with your experiments this year, is kind of what that Nine of Wands is saying to me. I think that will give you the best foundation for the rest of the year, is being more methodical with the things that you're trying. Like, especially for those of you in work or business, I would be trying like one thing at a time. And I would also make sure that you're doing all the nerdy stuff. Like, make sure you're tracking all the details. Make sure you're paying attention to what's working and what's not working. That's going to lead to like the most success for you here, Leo. You have the Nine of Wands, Ten of Swords, and the Page of Swords. I do feel like some of you like have gone through a breakup and you could be in this like wounded warrior position. Again, in part 2, we will be covering more of the romantic houses, so there will probably be more details about love in that reading, but I do feel like some of you feel manipulated or feel like you were manipulated by a person. Could be a person that you thought you were going to marry. And, I feel like you thought, it's kind of weird how it's popping into my head, because I almost feel like you followed the rules. They expected you, this person expected you to follow the rules, but they didn't have to follow the rules, right? Like, that's the type of feeling I get here. So it kind of maybe put you in a little bit of a wounded warrior type situation. That's in love, but for the most part, I feel like that's talking about not giving up on what you've been working on for a very long period of time. You do even have the Ten of Swords. The Ten of Swords is like, says something is dead, done, over with, but he's making a symbol with his hands here that kind of represents blessings, and he's making, it's the same symbol actually that the Hierophant is making, and I do feel that there could be some blessings coming in for you after a difficult period of time. I think it's going to be really important for you, especially at the beginning of this year here, Leo, to protect your mind, to protect the things that you're thinking. We do have Mercury going retrograde at the end of the year and into the beginning of 2023. So I would be careful. Like, I would protect your mind, and that's really all I'm getting there. You also have the Page of Swords. I almost feel like this could be a new person. And so again, there could be like a air sign coming in for those of you that have gone through like a separation or something like that. But more importantly, I feel like you need to be a little treasure hunter at this time. I mean, I'm pretty sure it was you that I did the Indiana Jones thumbnail with. And I feel like that should be your 2023, is there's like a lot of treasure available in probably multiple areas of your life, but you're going to have to dig for that treasure. You're going to have to, like, again, move a lot of dirt to get to the gold. And I want to encourage you to do it, because if you do it, then you're going to have a very successful year. With the Nine of Wands, you have this Independence card. Yeah, I feel like this has been like an ongoing process for you. Those are the words that I'm getting here, Leo, that you're gaining independence, learning independence. It's been something that you've been doing for a while. I feel like you've been working towards this for a long time, like true independence and becoming independent. So, I don't know what else I was going to say there, other than I feel like you're becoming more independent. The crazy thing is, another Aquarius card, by the way. So you have like a ton of Aquarius energy in your reading, because like in this deck, the Oracle of Radiant Sun, you have a bunch of these Aquarius cards. You could be meeting an Aquarius, number one. Aquarius is your opposite sign, number two. But number three, I would be embracing that Aquarian kind of energy of kind of thinking outside the box, Hierophant, right? Needing to think outside the box, coming up with unique ideas. These things, and you know what's really funny is I feel like I'm rejecting this fourth house energy, but not in a bad way. I mean, like, I feel like you want to be free. It's like, I feel like saying you don't want to be in the house this year. I feel like you're like looking to, sow your wild oats here, Leo. I feel like you're looking for greener, brighter pastures, and that's exactly what you're walking towards with that going forward card. I really like this reading now. I didn't like it at first. With I didn't think it was bad, just like meh. With the Ten of Swords, you have this versatility card. Your whole entire reading, I mean, you have so many cards that represent being flexible, being versatile, kind of being a triple threat, right? Coming up with different ways of doing things. So outside the box thinking, again, is going to lead to a more solid foundation. With the Page of Swords, you have this achievements card. It's going to lead to a lot of achievements. I also feel like you have a good, like, for those of you that have been working on something for a long time in life, that have been creating, like a business, or have been working towards things, I feel like you have a very solid like launching pad based off the achievements that you have had. It's up until this point. So, I feel like you do have like a solid foundation. We're going to pull 3 cards now, Leo. We're going to do 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to answer one question. So if you have a question, great. If you don't, that's fine too. But I'm going to answer one question with these 3 cards. Feel free to pause the reading if you need to think of a question. If you don't have a question, that's fine too. I'm just going to put all 3 cards together. You have the Empress, the Nine of Pentacles, and the Knight of Pentacles. Damn, I almost feel like this is what's waiting for you. Right here is like, success, abundance. Empress and the Nine of Pentacles are very similar. Nine of Pentacles, like pre-Empress energy. Nine of Pentacles, I feel, is saying you just have to get started planting seeds in that field behind him here. It basically sums up the entire reading, the Knight of Pentacles, because as I was saying in this reading, it's like you have the knowledge and wisdom. He has these green leaves on his helmet, which say you have all the knowledge and wisdom you need to be very successful at this time. You just have to start like investing in something that you are trying to grow. Whatever it is, I would get moving. It's very clearly a very abundant situation. For others, I feel like you are wanting to like approach a person. I would say, especially if it's an earth sign, I would definitely go for it. If you're wondering if an earth sign is interested in you, hell yes, I would say here. For others, I just feel like you're working on your own abundance. I actually feel, even though this first part of the reading is a little challenging, I do feel like I think it's more you that is challenging, right? And I'm not calling you out here, although I am at the same time. I think that you might be experiencing some challenges, but I feel this is very mental, and I feel you can easily work with this energy if you want to. And I would, if I were you, I would be going on those treasure hunts, right? But looks pretty interesting. So thank you for being here, Leo. Really appreciate it. Make sure to watch your sun, moon, and rising for a full picture of what's going on for you at this time. But thank you, and definitely enjoy your year.